So I'm not here with Neil today. Neil did not. I don't know. I couldn't get his car out of the valet. I have no idea, but he's driving right now, so he's not upstate. He's not here to be with us. But I'm trying to straighten myself out here, so I'm centered. But I do have a treat for you. I have a special guest. He's just here for a little while because he's going out because he has a place to be later on. But Warwick's very own Don Kilcoyne, citizen Don Kilcoyne is here. So let me bring Don in. Hey, Don. Hey. So we
I
are
I
live
am
right
on.
now.
I'm not on mute.
No, you're not on mute. You are live. So welcome to the TOWTalk podcast. We are live now, and it's uploading. There might be a little bit of a delay.
All right.
Sometimes I cheat and I go and I see if we're actually there yet. Um, oops. Let me go. First of all, how you doing?
I'm doing really well. It's been an exciting couple of months. It's nice to see you again.
Yes, yes. I know.
You've been busy.
I haven't seen you since the rally, since the
That's right.
frozen.
And that was the
Oh
first
my.
time we saw each other face to face. It was like you're
Yes.
real.
I'm a real person. Oh my God. Yeah, you saw me. I was so poorly dressed for that. Like I had leggings on. Anybody who sees me, I was dressed in my little uniform for my work to groom dogs, and I had leggings on, and the smocks are just paper thin, and a thin coat. I was numb. I was holding the camera and I was like, I was so cold. But it wasn't even as cold. The next rally the following week, it was even colder. I heard it was absolutely frigid out there.
Brutal, brutal.
It,
And some of these Saturday mornings were out there. We were out one the other day. It was below zero. And so one of our friends is just out there with a big bag of hand warmers, just helping us survive. But it's what it is right now, you know?
it's
Do what you
what
got
you
to do.
got to do. It's what you got to do. So one of the things I wanted to bring you on for, and let me just go and switch here. That's really weird. Okay. Something's wrong with my phone here. I'll deal with it later. Um, so so anyway, one of the reasons why I wanted to bring you on here is because on Sunday I
Mhm.
did a podcast with my friend Jennifer Bishop Jenkins. You all should check it out. Um, she is a history teacher and a historian herself, and we were talking about the history of concentration camps. They're here in America and abroad. And I was preparing for the stream, and I came onto Facebook and, kind of doing some research. And your video that you posted on Sunday pops up talking about concentration camps. And I wanted to talk to you about it. But first, before we do that, let me play it for you.
Right?
For everybody here, it's a short. It's like what? It's like 2 minutes, maybe a minute or two. Let me go into share. I'm going to share my screen. Nope, not that one. That one. There we go. And let's play it.
Good morning. I've been getting a couple of public and private messages about the use of a term, concentration camps. That's how I've been referring to the archipelago of facilities that ICE is building around the country, including the one coming to Chester. For folks who are really upset about that word, let me explain. I'm using it correctly. There have been concentration camps all over the world for centuries. This is a concentration camp. It is where you concentrate political prisoners for ethnic reasons, for convenience reasons, or for genocide. But it's just where you concentrate the people. Let me make this clear. In Germany, Hitler started building concentration camps in 1933. They became death camps in 1941. I am not going to clutch my pearls over people's sensitivity about the word concentration camps when this is exactly what it is. And I don't want to look back in 2030 and say, oh, I wish we could have prevented that, but I was too concerned about using a term that didn't offend people. Okay? These are concentration camps. Let's stop them before they become death camps. Although, since dozens have already died in them, we were a little slow off the starting line. Thank you for your attention to this matter.
Great ending. Let me stop sharing that. There we go. that was so on point, and straight and direct. And I'm just obviously what is happening, what kind of generated that brought you to that video made you.
Well, as I noted in the post that framed that up, is I don't like to post angry, but I'm involved in a lot of conversations with folks who either are actually having conversations with me or just coming at me with deflections. Right? They don't want a conversation about what's happening in the world today, and they'll come up with any semantic BS to deflect the conversation. And it just so happened that the night before and that morning, I was getting ridiculous attacks. I mean, they're fairly lame, but they were persistent about the use of the word concentration camp and how incredibly insensitive I've been because so many people died in the concentration camps and it's disrespectful to those who died. And I just want to take them by the collar, look them in the eye, and say, what part of never again are you choking on? Right?
Exactly.
I
That's
grew up in a school where we studied we studied the humanities, we studied the real history of World War II. It was in an AP class in high school, where we studied Elie Wiesel and all these phenomenal writers who lived through the Holocaust. And we, as like basically white Christian kids, understood the promise we were making. Never again. And never again means never.
never.
Not today, not tomorrow, not on my watch. And to watch these Trump apologists get all verklempt and clutch their pearls about the use of a word while people are dying. So I say I don't like to post angry, but I did. So
Yeah,
that's what
no,
that was about.
yeah, but that was right. That was right on point because it was funny. We as we started the podcast, Jennifer gave the definition, and it
Mhm.
was every word you said. Oh, it was exactly that, gathering people for political reasons. That's really what this is about. And I said I'm going to say it then, and what I'm going to say it here. What I said then was, if the goal is to deport them, why are we building a couple of hundred of these now? I think we're going to end up having. Why are we
Mhm.
holding them? Right now, we have roughly like 75,000 people that we're
Mhm.
holding. Some
Right.
many of which have been there for months, maybe even a year. If the
Mhm.
if the goal is to deport them, why are they still here? Why are you
Can I
can't?
pull?
Oh yeah, go
uh,
ahead. Go.
No, no, I don't want to interrupt you. I'm sorry. Let me just pull that thread for a second because Trump is terrible at what he's just an incompetent, and so is everybody who works with him, right? Like or hate Obama's deportation policies, he was better at it. He moved people faster. He was able to deport more people without the cruelty, without the terrible conditions, without building an archipelago of concentration camps. So, why can't Trump just use the infrastructure that Obama already had in place? It's because he doesn't want to. He wants the cruelty. That's part
Yeah.
of it. He can't motivate people to vote for him and vote for his flunkies by simply calmly and safely and humanely moving people. He needs the Sturmendrong, he needs the masks, he needs the smoke grenades, he needs to convert warehouses in our communities. That's how he's motivating people. It's about the cruelty, and he's tremendously incompetent and tremendously cruel. So,
Yeah, that's spot on. Um, and I think we also need to realize that he is propped up by a lot of people behind the scenes that are pushing this narrative. Because there are times when he has briefly, briefly, uh, sort of pulled back a little bit, like, oh, maybe we
mhm,
shouldn't take the employees, maybe we shouldn't, take the
right,
farm workers, and then next thing you know, they're pushing forward. So there's a lot going on behind the scenes, behind these incompetent people who are up front to be incompetent, and who
right,
will ultimately be the scapegoats
right.
when
Yeah,
this all falls comes crashing down.
and behind them are the for-profit prison industry. You know, all of this ultimately is somebody's making a ton of money. Um, when I say incompetent, though, and I think you just nailed such an important point, these people don't even understand that the Nuremberg defense didn't work.
Yeah.
A lot of people met the end of a rope because they said I was just following orders. And in an international trial, these people have no idea the consequences for what they're doing right now.
Yeah, and you know what? It's time to that. This was the whole reason why I brought a historian on to share this. I'm definitely going to have Jennifer back. I'm actually thinking it'd be great to have a panel for a couple of people on here to really talk about our history. And because you know
Mhm.
what, folks, if you didn't see that episode, I invite you to do that because we have a history of concentration camps that goes back a
We do.
couple of hundred years. We started with this. We were rounding up the indigenous population,
Mhm.
and we moved on. And of course, let's talk about World War II. This is recent history. Some of us are alive here. My mother is alive here. We were rounding up Japanese and basically Asian Americans. A lot of other Asian Americans were wrapped up in that. And she pointed to George Takei, who was spent a couple of years in a concentration camp when he was a child.
Yeah.
You know,
He's
I
an
mean,
amazing spokesperson for the
he really
cause and for
is.
helping us understand what happened. Yes.
Yeah. So, this is where we're at, folks. And don't be afraid to speak up. Don't be afraid to call it what it is. Don't be afraid to
Mhm.
say concentration camps because that's what it is. And
Right.
and I'm seeing it all over social media now. More and more people, the podcasters, the lefties, the centrists, the liberals, we're all calling it what it is because it is what it is. These
And
are
until
these are
you,
political reasons.
yeah. And until you accept exactly what's happening and stop defending it like America would never do that, well, let's make sure America doesn't do that. It's on us. Can I throw one more thing at you though that it's been making me crazy, and I know this is not part of your agenda tonight, but it
No,
is
no,
kind of part
definitely.
of it. What happens to the great builder? Donald Trump was a great builder. Obviously, he wasn't, but that was his image. He built skyscrapers and he built hotels and he built casinos. You know what he's not doing now? He's not building anything. He's converting old abandoned warehouses without sewer. He's taking over old spots in the Everglades that can't support human life, that are riddled with mosquitoes and have no flowing water, and being shut down by judges because they're completely incompetently organized and built. And so my question, we all knew what a clown he was. My question is from MAGA, who voted for him because he was such an accomplished strategist and builder. He built things. Why doesn't he take that $75 billion we gave him and build something?
Yeah.
Actually get a blueprint, lay a foundation, make sure the plumbing and the electric work, build something. He's not. He's like, this is like this giant junk sale that he's using. He's making Amazon warehouses for people. How about you make actual prisons for people where there's human conditions? But he can't because he's completely lost the plot.
Yeah. I can't argue with you there. Unless of course you want to count the ballroom. He wants to build a ballroom and now
The ballroom. Oh my
the
God, my kilt
ballroom.
has more ballroom than he does. Um, I'm sorry. Is it okay to say that?
It's absolutely fine. We say all kinds of shit here. Oh my God, that is great. Yeah, he wants to build that. He wants to build an arc to Trump. Like
Yeah,
he,
Arc de Triomphe. Oh
he
my God.
wants to throw his name on everything. Wants to put his name on Penn
Uh-huh.
Station. I mean,
Right.
it's I. I'm telling you, the sundowning is getting more frequent. I'm telling you, he wants to put his name up on things, before the clock runs out or he loses his mind altogether, and they
Mhm.
they they can't prop him up with medication anymore.
And
you know?
I completely agree with you. And he's starting to feel his own mortality, right? To me, that makes him more dangerous because
Yeah,
he's such a toxic narcissist that he can't picture a world without his name on everything. Which means as he realizes that his exit stage left pursued by bear is coming, he is just going to get worse. Because again, once he's gone, this world doesn't exist anymore for him. He doesn't care.
right.
So I'm sorry, that was a bummer of a
No, but
line,
it's
but
it
I'm afraid it's true.
it is true. Look, he's gonna get worse. Also, let's face it, he's woefully unpopular now.
Yes.
Woefully unpopular. He's just tanking, and he's lost pretty much. I think all I won't even go into the list of the people that he's lost, because basically all he's got left is aging Gen X, a few,
Mhm.
and losing us, boomers. Got them, and whatever, what was it, the generation depression era people. Yeah, that's pretty much all he's got left, and everybody else, the Gen Z has left, um, the millennials, and their now kids are becoming adults.
Mhm.
They're moving away. They've lost the farm community. They've lost the independents have just left him. He's losing people. He's just basically hemorrhaging support.
Absolutely. He's at like
And
36%. And that is telling his followers, like his real adherents in the House and the Senate, that there's no upside for them anymore. He can't hurt them really. And he certainly can't help them. So this is when we're going to
yeah,
start peeling off more of the masses. You know,
yeah,
we're going to get more Marjorie Taylor Greene style resignations. Um, ooh,
yeah. That now, hopefully that's an opportunity for Democrats or independents, by the way,
hmm
to step up. What we need, and I've been saying this, and I'm going to remind everybody again, we want to look for candidates who are grassroots, not backed
yes,
by PACs, not backed
yes,
by,
yes.
yeah,
hmm Yeah.
yeah. I mean, would you say that, that we have some of our Democratic leaders are being a little disingenuous with all that's going on?
Um, I think they're being a little Pollyanna. Um, I
Yeah,
think they really you've got people who've been in there for so long, they're rooted in this idea that the institution itself, it will have the strength to survive. And it's like, guys, no, we're counting on you. You need to stand up. You need to do this. But I'm thrilled with some of the things that our House and Senate have been able to pull off. I mean, the idea of getting those discharge petition after petition after petition. Usually you get one every 10 years. We got three in 3 months. That's a really, I'm not sure exactly the timing. It's about what it was. And I think they're taking this, enough of them are taking it very seriously and figuring out ways to leverage whatever advantage they have. Right now, what are we down to? One vote in the House?
yeah,
I mean, that's insane. You need a Randy Fine to like trip over his tie, and we have the house, right? And he would
yeah,
too. And that's what we need. Um, and then suddenly you have a Democratic Speaker of the House.
yeah,
Look at-
yeah. We
You know, uh,
that's
and the
No, go
Senate's not
ahead.
that far behind. With the numbers that they've been racking up across the country, even in Texas, winning by like 20 points.
Oh yeah,
I mean, I'm angry and hopeful at the same time. It's like having a coffee and a beer. I'm like, I'm caffeinated, a little bit bummed, caffeinated, a little bit bummed. It's a great feeling. It's really fun. It's
yeah, yeah. It's like every day you're like, okay.
oh, and look, look.
Yeah. We don't know what to do. They keep throwing stuff at us. But
I know, I know.
I will say this: all of this ties into voting, right? All of these warehouses is just exactly that: is to try and scare us
Hmm.
to not vote, to be, you know, for fear that we're going to be locked up. The talk of Steve Bannon threatening to have ICE at polling locations. You
Hmm.
know, they're doing everything they can to intimidate us. And you know what?
Absolutely.
You set it off. How many people are here that they have to go and intimidate?
Oh,
Oh,
I'm sorry.
the electorate, 153 million people that
Oh,
they'd have to.
yeah, 153 million people are speaking out against ICE online. It's like, guys, we outnumber you. We have more coverage than you. It's not going to work. Though I worry about the individual, the friends, the family member who in private will say, "I'm really scared." Yes, I get that. Let me give you a hug. Let's sit, let's talk. Let's do that. Let's care for the individuals, but as a group, do not let them see us sweat. Be
Got it.
Never
Yep.
give up, never surrender.
I like the
Get out there
shirt.
every day, right?
That
We have
that's
to.
it. Did you ever get that tattoo? You talked about getting
I have not, because you know what? I actually went to a local tattoo guy who looked really good. I had the whole thing worked out, and he said to me as he's about to do the tattoo, he says, "Don't really agree with the sentiment, but I'll take your money." So for folks who don't know, I was going to get the "Do not obey in advance." That's kind of my motto: "Do not obey in advance." Of course, I stole it, but yeah, the tattoo guy's like, "Well, I don't agree with you." Well, then you're not getting my money. So I still got to find
wow.
somebody. If anybody out there knows a great tattoo artist who is with the vibe, give me a shout.
Yeah, yeah, that's a good that I know that I was going to get a tattoo a couple of years ago. Before I lost weight, I was going to hold off until I lost all the weight that I had to lose and get this tattoo. And I was looking at a place on 211, No Man's Land. No Man's
Okay.
Land. I'm not sure though. That was before all of this,
Yeah, hard
so
to
I
tell.
don't know what it's like over there. But I might reach out to them again, and I'll let you know. I'll let you know what I find out because I wanted to get. I wanted to get. I actually now want to get that on my arm too. But again, good
Hmm.
point you made. So, but anyway, so that's what we're talking about here. And again, we're talking about how they're tying up the vote. They're trying to use this as
Hmm.
another means of scaring us. And I can get all conspiracy theory like about this. I know you've got a clock. You're on the clock right now, right? Or you got or
A
do you
little
have a
bit. I
couple
got
of
to head
minutes?
out pretty soon. But
Pretty soon.
um,
Because I have felt I didn't feel about this until recently, until I see what's happening, that I feel like COVID was sort of a Trojan horse to keep people in the house so they wouldn't come out and vote.
mm,
It's just a weird kind of thing. Like this has been done before. Look at all the things that happened in 2020, all the things he did, all the action he took to stop people from voting, taking out
mm,
change the mail guy, right? And he's still there, by the
I
way.
know it's insane. Yeah,
Why? I'll never understand why Biden didn't remove what is his name, LaJoy or
I
something.
don't know. Yeah, the joy. I don't know if he actually
DeJoy.
could. I think that was the problem that regular procedure didn't give Biden an opening unless you had actual malfeasance to get rid of him. I think that's the situation, but I could be blowing smoke. I'm not sure. Um, but Biden always wanted to play by the rules, and I think we need to play by the rules, but we need to play hard.
Yeah.
Go after them fast according to the law and prosecute everybody that we possibly can as quickly as possible. Um,
Yeah. Bec-
and do the old superhero thing: hit them once and say, "Stay down."
and
Do
stay
not let them
down.
back up again. You can't.
You
We made that mistake once, so we're paying for it.
Yeah,
So
we are. We are, but we won't make that mistake again. And I think,
no.
again, keep watching for we have some great grassroots candidates, people that are, I mean, Graham Plattner, Kate
Hmm.
Abigazala. We need, look at Mamdani. Look at the difference. Look at what Mamdani has done. That's what we really need.
Amazing. Yeah.
aggressive candidates like that, young candidates who really can look towards the future, because they're the ones that are going to carry the future. And all
Right.
these freaking septuagenarians and octogenarians, they got to go.
Well,
They
I
got to
want
go.
people with a young energy. My Mamdani, he basically looks around and says, "Oh, I can fix that." And he reaches out and he twists it and he fixes it. And I said, "No, no, no, there's paperwork to fill out." He goes, "Yeah, but it's fixed now. We'll do the paperwork later." I'm like, "Oh, I love that."
He came
Um,
right out. He came right out. He talked about affordable housing, and he came right away and started
mhm.
taking action to make housing more affordable. Like he's following what he said he was going to do for
Right.
people, and
And I
not
don't
not.
think he is indebted to anybody, which is brilliant. He doesn't have to sit and have secret meetings with the PBA because they didn't do anything for him. He doesn't have to have secret meetings with a bunch of, high cost rental unit owners because they never did anything for him. He can just care about the people. The person who handed him $5 is who he's indebted to. It's fantastic.
It really
More of
is.
him, please.
That's what we need. That's how right now our entire government is like made up of billionaires and who are raping everything.
Mhm.
And these people
Yep.
they have a plan. They've been putting this plan in for a long time.
Yes, they have.
And they are picking our pockets left and right. And just like you said, the warehouses, they got $38 billion to spend on warehouses. And by the way, to that point, I don't know if you follow Texas Paul. He's
No, I
usually,
don't.
hey, look up Texas Paul. He's
Okay.
the guy he's always got his cowboy hat on, and he always holds up his coffee cup and says, "I hope your coffee's good. I hope it's even better." He pointed to the
Okay.
fact that I guess one of these warehouses is going in not too far from where he is. He said that
Mhm.
that the warehouse had a value of about $30 million on Zillow, and I think it's 1 million square feet, and it was going for about $20 or $30 a square foot,
Mm.
I guess. Yeah, and so let's say $30 million. It was sold to a Russian oligarch I'm sorry, correction, bought from a Russian oligarch for 130 million or 130. I'm sorry, 130. Yeah, $130 million, $130 per square foot. So our money is being funneled at excessive amounts
Mhm.
to the richest class and to Russians. Russia.
Yep. Yep. Mhm.
It comes back to Russia so much. And this is how do you feel about this? How do you feel about this? How do you feel about having your money um, you know, oh my God, there's people chatting. I'm sorry. I got to go into the public
Me too.
chat. There we go. There's Marty. Oh, I am sorry, sir. Here we go. This is I'm gonna post this couple of hey, come here.
Give the man a break. He's stealing billions.
Oh, look at
Nice.
oh my God. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, give him a break. It's
Mhm.
really hard to steal billions. It's very time consuming to be a freaking thief.
There's a good point here too about the primaries. Wait until the primaries are over, and then we're going to see a little bit of a sea change in things. That's where you're going to see a lot of these people switch sides. They know their political life, but the primaries are what the chokehold is, right?
Yeah.
They know that so few people come out for the primaries, and if the party can control who comes out for the primaries, you can choke off somebody's political life. Wait till those are passed and see what some of these people say once they have a clear sailing path. It's really good insight. But Denise, I do have to get going. I
I know you
apologize.
do.
What a phenomenal opportunity to chat with you again. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a good evening, and we will see you soon. All
All
right.
right,
Be
I look
safe out
forward to
there.
it.
All
All right,
right.
peace,
Take
friends.
care. Bye.
Bye bye.
All right, guys. So yeah, that was Don Kilcoyne. It was really great to have him here. He's just a great person and a great speaker. He ran for town council in the town of Warwick and came very close, but unfortunately he did not win his seat. That council is heavily they Warwick town, I don't know, it was town or village of Warwick is very Republican. And there's a history there that I can go into. I won't go into it here, but yeah, it's very Republican there. But he made a very good showing, and he's incredibly popular in his community. He does a lot. He does a lot of you know outreach for people, and so I just so happy to have him here. So just to go on a little bit more, and just to kind of give you an idea, we were talking about warehouses and how and I was pointing to the fact that it ties in to voting, right? Threatening to put people in prisons. Obviously, when you're creating this huge network of warehouses, it's more than immigration. It's more than undocumented. It's to try and control the vote. To try and suppress the vote. And that takes me to the SAVE Act, which passed the House. Again, it's passed the House before, a couple of times actually. It was the first time it came up was it was created by Chip Roy in Texas, and it failed under Biden, and then they brought it back early in Trump's second term. I guess probably about a year ago. I guess it came up. It had passed the House, and it failed in the Senate again, and now it's back up again. And there is a oh, and in between that time, the president decided to try to enact everything by executive order, and that was shot down by the courts. So it's back again, and it passed the House, and because Don was leaving, I didn't bring it up because I knew he had to go. But it passed 218 to 213. So I don't know for sure who it was that crossed, or if it was because certain Democrats didn't show up or didn't chose not to vote at all. But that really should have been by one vote. It should not have been by 5 votes. Either way, it has to go to the Senate, and they're going to need to defeat the filibuster. So the Republicans would need 60 votes for that to pass. So that's a good thing. But today I saw this video that I'm going to share with you, and I want you to listen carefully because there's a lot of misinformation going on about the SAVE Act. But I want to play this video for you because this really caught my attention. It's about 35 seconds, and this is from Congresswoman Jen Kiggans. She's a Republican. Let me see. Let me share this, and oh, there it is. Screen. Right there. Here we go.
Hey, it's Congresswoman Jen Kiggans. We just got back from the House floor. We passed the Save America Act, and what this bill does is require a photo ID to vote. It also requires proof of citizenship to be able to register to vote. The vote passed by a 218 to 213 vote, but we had 213 Democrats vote against photo ID to vote and against having to prove that your citizenship to be able to register. You know, you need a photo ID to do so many things, to be able to buy a house, to be able to buy a car, to pick up cold medicine, to be able to get your ears pierced, be able to buy alcohol, open a bank account. It's really a no-brainer. They should have voted yes. Again, the bill passed, and I was proud to vote for it.
Okay. All right. Let me, interesting. That's changed because I listened to that a couple of times, and now she's changed that to photo ID. At the last portion of that video, she had said federal ID. You need a federal ID for all those things. But now she put it back to photo ID. I don't know where you need a photo ID to get your ears pierced. But let's talk about the SAVE Act because it's got some issues. First of all, you already need a photo ID to register for citizenship. That already happens. You have to prove citizenship to be able to vote in federal elections. That's always been the case. And so now they're trying to make it that that's never been the case. So let me see. Let me pull up. I had some notes here, but look, I had some notes and my phone is like not working right on me right now. So, but here's the thing. You already need to prove citizenship. We do that all the time. All right? But what the SAVE Act is going to do is it's going to make it harder. See the Constitution makes it clear that we shouldn't have any burdens to be able to cast a vote. And this is going to create burdens. It's going to disenfranchise millions of voters, particularly women, but anybody who's changed their name or is moving and has to re-register, you're going to have to jump through hoops to do it. First of all, it wants you to be able to, it requires you, hang on, it requires you to provide a birth certificate to be able to register to vote. So you need to provide your birth certificate. And doesn't seem like a hard thing unless, of course, you don't have your birth certificate handy. And they want a certified, stamped copy, not a photocopy of your birth certificate. So this creates, if you're registering, if you've moved, if for some reason you're purged from the rolls, that's going to create a problem, right? So you're going to need to go out and get your birth certificate. You'll need to know what municipality you were born in, what hospital you were born in, and then contact that municipality and get your birth certificate. I highly recommend, if you haven't done that, do it anyway. Now, this is where it gets complicated. Say you're someone like me who married and took your spouse's last name. Well, your name isn't going to match your birth certificate, right? So what do you think? People think, oh, well, I'll just bring I'll bring my marriage license with me. Well, according to this law, your marriage license is no longer valid ID. And so you're going to need to go to the next step, which is a passport. And a passport can cost you anywhere from $165 to $195, whether you go with the regular or the expedited passport. And the funny part is in order to get a passport, you will need a certified copy of your birth certificate, a certified copy of your marriage license. I don't think you need it, but if you were divorced within recent years, you'll also need a certified copy of your divorce papers if you were divorced and, let's say, married again or didn't keep your new last name. All right. This creates burden, a burden to be able to go out and vote, to get the right to vote, and also to it's going to cost you money. It's like a poll tax. So so that's a problem there. And then here's the other issue, which is think about this. Currently, in the Supreme Court, there is a case pending to end birthright citizenship. I'm sure you've all heard about this. Well, if you end birthright citizenship, that kind of means that your birth certificate is not going to be valid anymore. So now how do you prove citizenship? Right? Because all the people you're trying to disenfranchise, people who are born where two parents are immigrants, now their birth certificate will no longer be good. Well, how do the rest of us prove that our birth certificate is good? Are we now going to have to go and get the birth certificates of our parents? And for those of us who are older, who might retire and move to another place and have to register, are we now going to have to dig up our deceased parents' birth certificates? I mean, come on, what are we doing here? So there's a lot of problems with that. Also, other issues is they're going to end things like online registration for voting. They'll end mail-in voting for most people, with just a small select set of people, such as people in the military, people who are disabled. But for everybody else, no more mail-in voting. I don't know whether or not it would tries to limit early voting. I haven't heard that, so hopefully early voting is okay, is still intact. The other thing is creates harsh measures for pollsters who don't align or who don't or who make mistakes or whatever. So there could be issues for for people who do the polls and count the votes. Could be problems for them if they seem to find that there's something wrong, or they allowed a person to register that they feel shouldn't be registered. It also allows people to be purged for nefarious reasons. And that's really the issue here, because as you know, well, two issues. First of all, the State Department has been slow rolling passport applications. And they also came out, was it the end of last week or at the beginning of this week, that libraries are no longer going to be permitted, or certain libraries are no longer going to be permitted to assist in applications or process applications for passports. Now, you can still go to mail offices, but the library is kind of a nicer place. If you have questions, you can have somebody's attention better than you can in a busy post office, especially if you need help putting the application together. As someone, I've done this, and there's a lot in there, and it can be confusing to fill out these applications. I actually paid for a passport processor to help me do my paperwork and make sure it was clear so that I could go in and file it. And I was able to get my passport, but I did my passport last year when this passed the House the first time. So if you haven't, I'm going to recommend that you get your passports if you're able to do it. I realize that this is a burden. It's a cost, especially if you're like a married couple, and so you've got two people that you got to do, or if you've got children you have to do this for. It definitely is a burden, but you never know. You never know what could happen if this passes. You want to be ahead. You want to be 3 steps ahead. I don't believe it's going to pass. I don't think that the Senate is interested in passing it. But the fact that, there were 218 votes to pass it and only 213, and I believe, as Don said, we're only like 1 or 2 seats apart. It means that either some people didn't vote or possibly crossed the aisle. I'm not really sure I didn't look at how that wound up. I just know what the numbers are. And so I want to make sure that you guys can still vote. So first things, so just to kind of summarize here before I sign off, I'm going to sign off a little early today because Neil isn't here, and we miss Neil. But I want to remind you, if you can, try and get a passport. All right. Secondly, don't fear these warehouses. They're doing this to intimidate us. But the fact is that I think last I checked, they said there were 22,000 people working for ICE. Maybe that's increased a little bit, but not more than 25,000. Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. Let me just put this up here. So only one Democrat voted for it. The rest just never showed up for the vote. That's really they couldn't show up and vote for that? What the hell's going on, Democrats? So you figure, I'm going to find out who didn't show up for that vote. Because maybe we would have lost it, but we would have lost it by 1 vote. But you're saying that 1 Democrat voted in favor of it. Wow. Yeah, no, they didn't vote. They didn't not vote, or for the Democrats that voted against it. They didn't do that because of photo ID. You already used a photo ID to register to vote to begin with. All right. They did it because of all of these burdensome things and all the complications it's going to cause to the voting system. It's going to disenfranchise a lot of people, not just married women. Could be married men. Could be people like J.D. Vance, who changed their name so many times. It's going to cause a lot of problems. It's going to affect people. Now, like I said before, I mentioned the fact that they want to get rid of mail-in voting. States like I think it's Arizona or New Mexico, like 75% of the state vote by mail because these districts are so huge that you got to take a day off from work just to get to a polling location and vote. The same thing with states like Montana and some of these states that just have huge districts that cover, hundreds of miles even possibly or whatever. It's going to take time for them to come out and vote in person, so they vote by mail because it's convenient. So anyway, getting back to my point, folks, don't be nervous. Don't be nervous about warehouses. Come out. We're going to be doing rallies. They're coming here to Orange County, but we're going to be ready for them. We're going to be here to support each other, and have no fear. Be strong. And also, if you can, get a passport if you're able to. I don't think it's going to pass, but there's nothing wrong with being prepared just in case. All right, folks. So I'm going to end early this evening. We'll be back on Sunday. Neil will be back on Sunday. He's going to tell me all about what his classes were like during his trip during the city. And we're going to do some recording on that. And I'll be back with more over the weekend. All right. We'll see you soon. Take care. Be safe. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and leave a comment. Let us know what you think.